My girlfriend gave me two choices. Accept her going on a girls' trip with 3 guys or be single. I picked option 3. Showed her dad the texts she'd been sending them. He helped me pack her stuff. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I really thought I had it all figured out. I'm 29, an electrical engineer. And for the last 4 years, I've been building a life with Chloe, 26. On paper, we were perfect. I was the steady hand, the provider, the guy who fixed the sink and handled the investments. She was the vibrant social spark that kept things interesting. Or so I told myself. Looking back, I was just the safety net she was waiting to outgrow. We were living in a beautiful 3-bedroom condo in the city. Here's a detail that matters later. The condo is owned by her father, Robert. Robert is an old school guy, retired military, runs a contracting business, believes in handshakes and loyalty. He gave us a family rate on the rent because he liked me. He actually told me once over a beer, "I'm glad she found someone with a backbone. You remind me of myself." I took that as a compliment. I didn't realize how much I'd need that alliance until last Tuesday. Chloe came home from her marketing job buzzing with that frantic energy she gets when she wants something expensive. She sat on the arm of the sofa, running her fingers through my hair. "Babe," she started, using her ask voice. "So Sarah and Jen are planning a trip to Miami next month. Just a girls' getaway. Sun, beach cocktails, we all really need to blow off some steam. Work has been insane." I didn't think much of it. I trust her, or I did. "Sounds fun," I said, looking up from my laptop. "How long?" 5 days. The flight is a bit pricey, but I was hoping we could put it on your Sapphire card for the points. "I'll pay you back for half when my bonus hits." I agreed. I always agreed. I booked the flight that night. I even felt good about it, thinking I was being the supportive boyfriend, giving her space to relax with her friends. 2 days later, the universe handed me a reality check. Chloe was in the shower. I was in the living room watching the game when her iPad, which was sitting on the coffee table, lit up. It was linked to her iMessage. I usually ignore her notifications, but the preview text caught my eye because it wasn't from Sarah or Jen. It was from a contact saved as Kyle Jim. The message read, "Tell him whatever you want. Just make sure you bring that red thing you wore last week. I'm not sleeping on the couch this time." My stomach dropped through the floor. The air left the room. I stared at the screen, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. I knew I shouldn't look. I knew the noble thing to do was to wait and ask her. But the phrasing, "Tell him whatever you want," shattered my nobility. I unlocked the iPad. She hadn't changed the passcode in 3 years. I didn't just find a text, I found a war room. It was a group chat named Miami Mayhem Pantry, smiling face with horns. The members weren't just Sarah and Jen. It was Sarah, Jen, Chloe, this Kyle guy, and 2 other men named Mike and Justin. I scrolled back. I read for 10 minutes, and with every swipe, my love for her turned into a cold, hard knot of nausea. This wasn't a girls' trip. It was a couple's trip. Sarah and Jen were bringing these guys, and Kyle was paired off with Chloe. They had rented a 3-bedroom Airbnb. The logic was simple. I was paying for her flight, and she was splitting the Airbnb cost with Kyle. But the cheating wasn't even the worst part. It was the disrespect. The way she spoke about me to these strangers was visceral. Chloe: "Ugh, Mark is asking about the itinerary. He's so suffocating sometimes. He's acting like my dad." Kyle: "Does the bank account know he's being played?" Chloe: "LOL. Stop. He's useful. He's paying for the flight, so that saves me $400. Besides, he's so vanilla. He'd never survive Miami anyway. I need a break from playing house with Mr. Safety." Kyle: "Don't worry. I'll make sure you forget his name by the second night." Chloe: "Already have." I sat there, freezing cold in my own living room. Useful, vanilla, Mr. Safety. She wasn't just betraying me. She was laughing about it. She was soliciting validation from a guy who clearly didn't respect her, using my resources to facilitate it. I took screenshots of everything. The mocking, the plans to share a room, the confirmation that she was lying to my face. I airdropped them to my phone and deleted the evidence from the iPad. Then I sat back down and waited for her to get out of the shower. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I felt a strange clinical detachment washing over me. The woman I loved had died the moment I read those texts. The person in the shower was just a squatter. She walked out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel, humming, smelling like her expensive vanilla scrub, the one I bought her for her birthday. She saw me sitting on the couch with the TV off. "Why is it so quiet in here?" she asked, drying her hair. "I was just thinking about your trip," I said. My voice was steady, almost too steady. "I was looking at hotels in Miami. Where are you guys staying again?" She didn't even flinch. "Oh, we found a cute boutique hotel near South Beach, just a small place. Sarah booked it." "Really?" I asked. "'Cause I was looking at Airbnbs and they seemed like a better deal for a group." "No, we wanted hotel service," she said. She lied effortlessly. She walked into the bedroom to get dressed. I followed her to the doorway. "So it's just you, Sarah, and Jen?" "Yes, Mark. Why are you interrogating me?" She pulled a t-shirt over her head, her voice getting sharp. She hated being questioned. "Because I know Kyle is going," I said. She froze. Her back was to me, but I saw her shoulders tense up. She slowly turned around, her face flushing a mix of panic and anger. "Who?" "Kyle," I repeated. "And Mike, and Justin. And I know you aren't staying at a hotel. You're staying at a 3-bedroom Airbnb and you aren't sleeping alone." She stared at me for a long moment, her brain working overtime to calculate how much I knew. Then she made the mistake of going on the offensive. It's the cheater's classic pivot. When caught, attack the method of discovery. "Did you go through my phone?" She snapped, her eyes narrowing. "You violated my privacy. Are you serious right now?" "I saw a notification on the iPad," I said calmly. "But yeah, once I saw a strange guy texting my girlfriend about sleeping in the same bed, I looked, and I saw everything. Chloe, I saw you calling me useful. I saw you laughing about me paying for your flight so you could go hook up with some gym rat." She scoffed, crossing her arms. She didn't cry. She didn't apologize. She rolled her eyes. "You are blowing this completely out of proportion," she said, her tone condescending. "Kyle is just a friend from the gym. We're all just going as a group. It's cheaper to split a house." "God, you are so insecure. This is exactly what I was talking about in those texts. You're suffocating me. I'm suffocating you because I don't want you sharing a room with another man." "Nothing is going to happen," she yelled, "unless you keep acting like this jealous psycho and drive me to it." "I need this trip, Mark. I feel stagnant. I feel like I'm living this boring, predictable life. And I just want 1 week to feel young and fun again. Is that a crime?" I looked at her, really looked at her. She truly believed she was the victim here. She truly believed she was the victim here. She thought she was the main character of the universe, and I was just the supporting actor who was messing up his lines. "So," she continued, stepping closer, trying to use her height and anger to intimidate me. "Here is the deal. I am going to Miami. I am not canceling. I deserve this. You have 2 choices." She held up 2 fingers, looking at me with a smug defiance that made my blood run cold. "Choice 1. You get over your little insecurity. You trust me, and you let me go and have a good time. You stop acting like a jailer." She paused for effect. "Choice 2. You don't accept it. In which case, we're done. You can be single. If you can't handle me having male friends, then maybe we aren't compatible." She let her hands drop, looking at me with a triumphant smirk. She thought she had checkmated me. She thought I was so afraid of losing her, so afraid of blowing up our perfect 4-year life, that I would fold. She expected me to apologize, to beg her not to go, to promise to be cool. "Those are my choices?" I asked. "Those are your choices," she said. "Ball's in your court, Mark. I'm going to the gym. I expect you to be done throwing your tantrum by the time I get back." She grabbed her gym bag, rushed past me, and slammed the front door. Silence rushed back into the apartment. I stood there for a full minute, processing the sheer audacity of what had just happened. She had cheated emotionally, planned to cheat physically, mocked me, and then threatened to dump me if I didn't fund it and shut up. She gave me 2 choices: accept the disrespect or lose her. She forgot that there is always a third option. I walked over to the window and watched her get into her car. As soon as she pulled out of the driveway, I pulled out my phone. I didn't call a lawyer. I didn't call my mom. I called Robert. "Hey, Mark." His gruff voice answered on the second ring. "Everything okay? I was just about to head to the hardware store." "Hey, Robert," I said. My voice was calm, deadly calm. "Are you home? I need to come over. It's about Chloe and it's about the lease." "Is she okay?" he asked, fatherly concern spiking. "She's fine," I said. "Physically, she's fine. But I have something I need to show you. I think you need to see how your daughter speaks about us, and I'm going to need to borrow your truck. Come on over," he said, the tone of his voice shifting from concern to seriousness. Robert lives about 20 minutes away in a house he built himself in the late 90s. When I pulled into the driveway, he was already in the garage tinkering with a lawnmower. He wiped his grease-stained hands on a rag and gave me a wave, but his smile faded when he saw the look on my face. "Coffee or a beer?" he asked. It was 11 o'clock a.m. on a Saturday. "Neither, Robert. We need to talk inside." We sat at his kitchen table. I didn't waste time with pleasantries. I didn't try to soften the blow. I respected this man too much to sugarcoat the fact that his daughter had turned into a stranger. "I love your daughter," I started, placing the iPad on the table between us. "I've been planning to propose next year, but an hour ago she gave me an ultimatum. She told me I could either accept her going on a trip with 3 other men, sharing a house with them, or I could be single." Robert frowned, his bushy gray eyebrows knitting together. 3 men? She told her mother it was a girl's trip to South Beach. "It's not," I said. "I need you to read this chat. Start from the top. And Robert, I'm sorry you have to see this, but I need you to understand why I'm doing what I'm about to do." I watched him read. I saw the exact moment his heart broke. It wasn't when he saw the sexual innuendos about Kyle. It was when he scrolled up to a message I hadn't mentioned earlier, one where she complained about her parents. "Chloe, I can't ask my dad for the cash. He's got these outdated, stuffy morals. He thinks hard work is the answer to everything. It's pathetic. I'll just get Mark to put the flight on his card and guilt him into forgetting about it." Robert's face went from confused to stone-cold red. He read it twice. Then he set the iPad down gently, took off his glasses and rubbed the bridge of his sphere. The silence in the kitchen was heavy, suffocating. "She called me pathetic," he whispered. "It wasn't anger. It was pure hollow disappointment. She called me useful, and you pathetic." I corrected gently. "She's using my money to fly there, and she's using your house as a base to disrespect us both." Robert stood up. He walked to the sink and stared out the window for a long time. When he turned back, the fatherly warmth was gone. In its place was the hardened look of a man who deals with breach of contract for a living. "The lease on the condo," Robert said, his voice gruff. "It's month to month now, right?" "Yeah, we never renewed the yearly term." "And I co-signed for her car," he muttered, more to himself than to me. He looked me in the eye. "Mark, you're a good man. You treated her like gold, better than she deserves." "Then I'm done, Robert," I said. "I'm not negotiating with her. I'm picking option 3. "Option 3, he repeated, nodding slowly. "Right, let's go." He didn't ask what I meant. He knew. He grabbed his truck keys. We drove back to the condo in separate vehicles. When we got there, we didn't yell. We didn't throw her clothes out the window like in the movies. We worked like a moving crew. Robert brought in empty boxes from his truck bed. "Pack only what is hers," Robert instructed. "If you bought it, it stays. If you paid for it, it stays." It took us 2 hours. We cleared the closet, the bathroom, her vanity. I packed her shoes while her father packed her books. It was a surreal bonding experience. 2 men systematically dismantling the presence of a woman who had played us both. When the last box was in the back of Robert's Ford F-150, the apartment felt huge, empty, quiet. I took a piece of notebook paper and a Sharpie. I wrote 3 sentences. "You gave me 2 choices. I picked option 3. Your dad has your stuff." I left the note on the kitchen island, right next to the key she had given me when we first moved in. The spare key to her heart or whatever lies she had told back then. Robert looked at me as he idled the truck in the driveway. "I'm taking this to my garage. She can stay in her old room until she figures out her life. But Mark, don't let her talk her way back in. She's got her mother's tongue. She'll try to spin this." She's blocked, I said. Robert, she doesn't exist anymore. He nodded, gave me a firm handshake, a grip that said, I'm sorry, without saying the words, and drove off. I went back inside, poured a whiskey, and sat in the silence. For the first time in 4 years, I didn't have to worry about making someone else happy. I just breathed. She came home 2 hours later. I wasn't there. I had gone to a buddy's house to crash for the night, just in case. She tried to cause a scene, but I had my Ring camera notifications on. I watched the footage on my phone. She walked up to the door, gym bag over her shoulder, looking annoyed, probably rehearsing the speech about how I needed to grow up. She put her key in the lock. It worked. I hadn't changed the locks yet. Robert was the landlord, so he'd handle that later. She walked in. I saw the moment she realized the apartment echoed. She walked into the frame of the living room camera, spinning around. Her decorative pillows were gone. Her throw blankets were gone. The photos of us on the mantel were gone. She picked up the note from the island. She read it. She threw it on the ground and screamed. It wasn't a scream of sadness, it was a scream of rage. She grabbed her phone and dialed me. Blocked. She dialed again. Blocked. Then she called Robert. I heard about this conversation later. Robert didn't yell. He simply said, "Your boxes are in the driveway. It's going to rain tonight, so I suggest you come get them. And Chloe, don't bring that iPad into my house. I know what you used it for." He hung up. Most people, when their life implodes, would take a step back and reflect. Not Chloe. Chloe operated on spite. She had too much pride to admit defeat. She doubled down. She posted a story on Instagram that night from her childhood bedroom. A selfie with a caption that read, "Trash took itself out today. Finally free. Miami isn't ready for me." Airplane emoji. Nail polish emoji. She went on the trip. She had to. To cancel would be to admit that I was the structure holding her life together. She needed to prove that she was the prize. But reality has a nasty way of hitting you when you don't have a safety net. Since I had canceled the flight purchase on my Sapphire card, fraud protection is a beautiful thing. When the authorized user violates the terms of the relationship, her ticket was voided. She had to buy a last-minute ticket at 3 times the price, maxing out her own credit card. From what I gathered later, through mutual friends who were rapidly defecting to my side, once the screenshots of the group chat leaked, the trip was a disaster. The Miami Mayhem group didn't want a sad, homeless girl. They wanted the fun, carefree Chloe who bought rounds of shoe. But Chloe was stressed. She was checking her bank account. She was obsessing over why I hadn't chased her. And Kyle, the gym crush. Turns out Kyle wasn't interested in a relationship. He was interested in a sure thing. They hooked up the first night. By the second day, Kyle was hitting on other girls at the pool right in front of her. When she complained, he apparently told her, "Relax, we aren't dating. You're the one who said you wanted a break from Mr. Safety, right? So have fun." She was stuck in a house with 3 guys who treated her like a party favor and 2 girlfriends who were too busy with their own flings to comfort her. She ended up sleeping on the couch in the Airbnb because Kyle brought someone else back to the room she had paid for. She spent 5 days hemorrhaging money she didn't have, surrounded by people who didn't care if she lived or died, while her life back home sat in cardboard boxes in her dad's garage. By the time she landed back in the city, she wasn't the baddie she claimed to be on Instagram. She was broke, single, and homeless, and that's when the silence started to break. That's when the "I miss you" texts started trying to punch through the block list. Silence is expensive. It costs you your ego, your desire to be right, and the urge to check up on them. But the return on investment is peace. For 6 weeks, I was a ghost. I didn't ask mutual friends about her. I didn't check her social media from a burner account. I simply erased her digital footprint from my life. I channeled all that frustrated energy into myself. I hit the gym 6 days a week, not for revenge, but to burn off the adrenaline. I focused on a project at work that I had been neglecting because I used to spend my evenings listening to Chloe complain about her co-workers. Without her drama sucking the oxygen out of the room, I thrived. I got a promotion. I slept better. My bank account looked healthier than it had in years. But toxic people hate silence. It forces them to hear their own thoughts. And Chloe evidently didn't like what she was hearing. The flying monkeys arrived first. About a month after the breakup, I got a text from Sarah. The same Sarah who had helped plan the Miami Mayhem trip. Sarah. Hey, Mark. Look, I know you're mad, but you need to talk to Chloe. She's in a really bad place. She's been crying nonstop. She's staying at a motel because her dad won't let her back in the main house. You can't just abandon her like this. It's cruel. I stared at the phone. It was almost funny. They wanted me to be the safety net again. They broke her, and now they wanted me to pay for the repairs. I didn't reply. I blocked Sarah. Then I blocked Jen. Then I blocked the 2 other friends who liked her freedom post. When the digital manipulation failed, she resorted to the physical ambush. It was a Tuesday evening. I was walking to my car in the company parking garage. I unlocked my door and heard the click of heels hurrying across the concrete. Mark, wait. I froze. I recognized the voice, but it sounded thinner, shrill. I turned around. Chloe was standing by the bumper of my car. The glow down is a real phenomenon. The Chloe I knew was always impeccable. Hair done, makeup flawless, outfit curated for the gram. This woman looked exhausted. Her roots were showing. She was wearing sweatpants that looked slept in, and a hoodie I recognized as one of mine she had stolen years ago. She looked like she hadn't slept in a week. She looked at me, and for a second I saw the old arrogance flicker in her eyes, but it was quickly replaced by desperation. "You're hard to find," she said, trying for a playful tone, but missing by a mile. "You blocked my number." "Really?" After 4 years, I didn't smile. I didn't frown. I just leaned against my car door, crossing my arms. "You gave me a choice, Chloe. I made it. What do you want?" "I want to talk," she said, stepping closer. I didn't move, but I didn't invite her in. "Mark, this has all gone too far. My dad, he won't even look at me. He told me I have to pay him back for the car, or he's repossessing it. He's acting crazy. You turned him against me." "I didn't turn anyone against you," I said calmly. "I just showed him the truth. If the truth ruined your relationship with him, that's on you." "I was angry," she shouted, her voice echoing in the garage. "I sent those texts because I was venting." "Nothing happened in Miami, Mark. I swear Kyle was a jerk. I spent the whole time missing you. I realized I made a mistake." She reached out to touch my arm. I stepped back. "Don't," I said. "You didn't miss me, Chloe. You missed the lifestyle. You missed the apartment. You missed having a guy who pays for everything and asks for nothing." "That's not true." Tears started welling up. Weaponized tears. I used to fall for them every time. Now they just looked like saline. "I love you. Can't we just hit reset, please? I'm staying at a motel. Mark, I'm scared. Just let me come home. We can fix this." I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized the anger was gone. The hurt was gone. All that was left was indifference. She was just a stranger with a history I no longer cared to read. This was the moment she expected me to fold. She expected the provider instinct to kick in. She thought I would see her suffering and feel obligated to save her. But I wasn't her provider anymore. I was just a guy in a parking garage who wanted to go home. "There is no home for you to come back to," I said. My voice was soft, professional, detached. "I moved out of the condo last week." Her face went slack. "What?" "I moved. Your dad is selling the unit. He didn't want the memories either." You left me nothing," she stammered. "You just erased me." "You erased us, Chloe. When you sent that text saying I was useful and boring, you killed the relationship. You just didn't realize it until the credit card bill arrived." She started to get angry then, the sadness dissolving into the toxic entitlement I had ignored for too long. "You are such a petty, vindictive little man. You think you're better than me. You're boring, Mark. You will always be boring. Kyle was right about you." There it was. The mask slipped. I smiled, a genuine, easy smile. "You know, you're right," I said. "I am boring. I pay my bills. I stay loyal. I treat people with respect. I go to bed at a reasonable hour. To someone like you, that is boring. But to a grown woman, that's a husband." I opened my car door. "You can't just leave me here," she screamed. "I have nowhere to go." "You have plenty of places to go," I said, getting into the driver's seat. "You have the gym, you have the club, you have the streets of Miami. You have all that freedom you demanded. You're free, Chloe. Congratulations, you got exactly what you wanted." She slammed her hand on my window. I started the engine. The Bluetooth connected and my phone lit up on the dashboard. A text notification popped up from a woman named Elena. a pediatrician I had met at a mutual friend's dinner party 2 weeks ago. "Elena, dinner's almost ready. Pick up wine on your way." Chloe looked through the glass. She saw the name. She saw the smiley face. She saw the life that was supposed to be hers continuing without her. I didn't look at her again. I put the car in reverse, backed out, and drove toward the exit ramp. In the rearview mirror, I saw her standing alone in the middle of the concrete lane, small and shrinking with every yard I put between us. I turned on the radio, merged onto the highway, and went to buy a bottle of Cabernet. I picked option 3, and it was the best decision I ever made. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.